J.C. Latham was the 7th overall pick in the 2024 NFL Draft by the Tennessee Titans, and the things he was able to put on film against the Texans in Week 18, they live up to the billing of a 7th overall pick. And one of these reps I want to start with is this one here. Latham's dealing with a pretty wide technique, and one thing I love about Latham's game that I've noticed through watching this particular game is how comfortable and square he is in his sets. A good indicator of that is your inside foot. Watch how square and up the field his inside foot is on these first few sets. Only starting to turn as he gets comfortable at the spot and to where the top of the rush is going to be. So see how square he is to his spot, which puts him in a great position and gives Derek Barnett a limited amount of options for what he can do in his rush. So I love that first about Latham's sets. And then he does a great job landing that outside hand. He's playing with independent hands and does a great job striking that exact aiming point that you usually have for an outside punch on that opposite logo, putting himself in a great position to have a good fit where the anchor is one of the best parts of his game, where he's able to be in a great position to anchor down and give Mason Rudolph some time to make a play. Great rep out of Latham here on the set, being square, getting to the good spot, and then landing that punch and settling his feet. Great rep out of Latham. Latham put some super exciting and encouraging things on tape against the Texans here in Week 18. He's working a deuce block with Skoronski. Him and Skoronski are responsible for 70, whatever number this guy is, up to 0, Al-Shaair on the deuce block. And the first thing you want to do as the tackle on the play side of a gap scheme run is move your deuce responsibility, the B-gap player, which 70, whatever his number is, ends up being here, into the A-gap before you work up to the second level. And the best way to do that is to absolutely destroy the outside hip of the man you're deucing to, or the B-gap player that you're deucing on. And Latham does a fantastic job of getting it. Look at his outside play side hand on the hip, and they move the B-gap player right into the A-gap and open up a good hole for the gap scheme run. And then Latham does a great job at the second level, fitting his hands from a strong base after recovering from the deuce and sealing Al-Shaair off from the play side and being able to make a play here. The run only goes for 4 yards. It's fitted pretty well by the Texans, but Latham and Skoronski, great deuce there on the B-gap player and up to Al-Shaair on the gap scheme run by the Tennessee Titans. All right, last rep here, and this one right here is an exaggerated example of everything we've been talking about previously. Look how wide this rusher is. He's comically wide on this play here. And just look how comfortable Latham is in this space and in his set. Look how square he is at the contact point. And that's just what I've seen throughout this entire game and what Latham's been able to pull off in pass protection in this game. Latham's outside foot starts on about the 4.5 yard line. Look where it ends up at the point of contact. It's at the half yard line. And talented pass protectors are super comfortable in that range of space. That's almost 5 yards of space that he's covering in his set, and it doesn't throw him off at all. He's able to comfortably get to the spot and execute his punch, anchor down, and give his quarterback time to make a play. Great game by Latham. Very impressed by what I saw in this film, and I'm looking forward to seeing what he's able to pull off in year 2. I'm sure many of you are familiar with this video of J.C. Latham attempting to block Bill Callahan's insanely large sled. Now here's why Bill Callahan makes his guys use that sled. It translates directly into games, and there's evidence of it here in Latham's base block on this zone scheme. He's just got a base block on this end here, gets a great fit initially, sinks his hips, gets a fit, and then brings him through gradually, gets this defensive end onto 1 foot through the force he's driving him on that angle that he's got him. And it's just a great rep by Latham, and it starts on the Bertha sled, and it translates directly to games like you see here. He's able to successfully wall the defensive end off on the play side, and the ball hits off of him for an efficient run. I know this is a O-line centric account where I post a lot of good offensive line reps, but I want to give credit where credit is due. Derek Barnett, the savvy vet, with a very good rush here on Latham. It's sort of a inside stab to club, and then he gets a good grip on Latham's outside jersey and is able to pull through and bend pretty well, and almost gets to Levis, but he gets the ball off. But just a great pass rushing move by the savvy vet, Derek Barnett, on Latham here. From Latham's end, to coach it up, I think Latham is in a good spot off of his set. That's usually a good position for him, pretty square when looking to land his punch. His feet are a little out of sort when he throws here, and he gets a little overextended. When he throws the punch, his arm is out there before it makes contact. Doesn't exactly land as far outside as he probably would have liked it to either. And then Barnett does a good job, like I said, with that club, and then rip through to get Latham off balance and get to the quarterback. So, like I said, credit where credit's due. Great pass rush move out of Derek Barnett, the savvy vet, against the rookie J.C. Latham. Another great rep here out of Latham and Skoronski, picking up the TE pick stunt that the Texans have on here. They're dealing with the surface here where the three tech, or would traditionally be the three technique on this pick stunt, is super wide, which would cause Latham's antennas to be up pre-snap. And I like how Latham sets for depth here, but he's also square, putting himself in a good position for the wide edge rusher, but as well as lagging his backside hand in order to be able to pick up this pick stunt, which is what they end up getting. Skoronski does a decent job passing it off to Latham, and then Latham does a good job anchoring and repositioning off of receiving the penetrator to put himself in a good position and firm up the pocket, and Rudolph's able to get the ball off. We've been emphasizing how settled, square, and comfortable Latham has looked at the spot, and this is another great example of it here. He draws a one-on-one against a press linebacker here, and watch the feet of Latham, how settled they are once he gets to the spot. He never goes too far, and he's always got a plan with his hands and is able to land his punch and anchor down against these pass rushers. This is a great example of it here. Latham gets to the spot there and is super comfortable, flashes his outside hand, and then is able to get a solid fit underneath after flashing the hand. And we talked about it before, the strong suit of his game is his anchor, and he's able to do it. All right, good rep out of Latham and Skoronski here, passing off the game. Making sense of this Texans front here. The Titans are essentially 5 for 5 here. The back's in the protection, but you essentially have 5 for 5 all the way out to here with this wide end with 61's assignment. But Latham and Skoronski have a strong rep passing off this game between 98 and Al-Shaair. Al-Shaair is mugged up over Skoronski, and they're going to get the end penetrating and Al-Shaair looping. And it's just a good rep out of the left guard and left tackle, the Titans, Skoronski and Latham. Let's look at Latham's set here. It's a solid set for how tight 98's playing. Latham does a great job of getting his two sets, and he's in a perfect spot based off the positioning in 98. And look how square he is at the spot, ready for things like this to happen with a game between Al-Shaair and the end. So first thing you notice is his perfect positioning on his set and how square he is, and then he does a good job of using his length to pass 98 in front, and a great job of recovering to Al-Shaair once the penetrator has been passed off. That's a tight window for Latham to get his base back under him after passing 98 off and getting in a good position to land that outside hand right to the outside logo of Al-Shaair and anchor down. Gives Will Levis time. That pass is incomplete, but a great rep out of Skoronski and Latham there. All right, the Titans scheme up a pretty fun play here. It's a play action pass with flea flicker action, and then a leak by the tight end to get him in space, and it's executed great on the run fake, and then great down the field blocking out of Latham and Daniel Brunskill here. Just a good rep, getting the tight end in space here with great deception on the flea flicker action. And like I said, some great down the field blocking here by your O lineman to open up a big seam for the tight end to run through. Big play for the Titans and very fun play design here. I'm sure Dan Casey would enjoy this, and I'm sure he's posted about it already.